Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerren, and today in the Rich Auntie Life series, we are talking about our new products that we're rolling out to the market because it is a lot. It's been about a month since I released an episode, and so I knew I needed to get in the studio and get an episode recorded so I can give you all updates as to where we are, what we're doing, and how things are moving forward. But of course, first, I want you to head over to beacons.ai/Rashida McFerrin and check out all of our offerings. Notice I didn't say uh, course offerings, I said offerings. Huge news on my end. February 28th, I released my own platform. So it's called Rashida AI Wealth Coach. And I have just been it's been a lot. You know how that old saying, running against the 8 ball? Yeah. Yeah. Take that and multiply that times like 1,000. So, the platform is up, the platform is live, it is working. We have 2 courses listed right now. We have the AI Made Easy Bootcamp, which is $399, and then we have Real Estate Riches, which was a product that I previously had on other platforms. We have migrated 100% over to my own platform. You all have no idea how much this means to me personally, because this is all I've wanted for the last 3 to 4 years, for me to not have to pay someone to host my courses, my events, my lives. Like, it is a big deal for me. And let me explain why. So, one of the things that I've expressed previously in regards to starting a digital online business is like, you're going to come in contact with so many fake gurus. Like, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before when I talk about how I invested in myself, quote unquote, and I jumped into all these expensive 5-figure masterminds, spent $2,500 the first time, I think $4,000 the next time. It was just like in excess of 10 grand. Okay. Now, this was just the quote unquote investing in myself part in order for me to figure out how to do my job online as a digital creator. And then I got in there, paid all that money for that stuff to these gurus, and I couldn't use any of it. Like, anything that I tried to implement in regards to strategies that they gave me was just met with so much resistance. And about a year ago, I was coming back from a flag football game from Brownsville, Texas, and my mom said to me, Rashida, you are not them. And I was like distraught because I had spent thousands of dollars investing to get on their roster, to get aligned with them, to soak up all their wisdom of how they had been making these millions of dollars for all these years, just to come back to the point of me going back to my strategy I had before I ever joined a mastermind or a boot camp or a course or an academy. That was like a blow to my ego because I had invested so much money and didn't get anything in return. I felt like that. And I will be completely transparent. The first course I joined was Digital Course Academy with Amy Porterfield. She no longer apparently offers the course. I have a whole lot to say about that, times a million. But with her stuff, I just struggled to implement the stuff that she had in the course. And I came into her mastermind, or what, the course academy, with my course 100% completely done. And the only thing I wanted truly at the time was to figure out how to market it. And marketing was like, I think module 5 or 6. It was like way later. The course started in October and I feel like it ended early December. And I had to wait like 2 months in order to get the modules that I needed. And I was just probably by halfway through it, I was just like disgruntled because I was like, look, I've paid you my money and you are not giving me what I want. The result is this is what I want. And everything that I've tried to implement from you, I took Digital Course Academy in the fall of 2000. It's 2026 now. Everything I've tried to implement from you of what you taught in this course did not work. That was $2,500 basically going down the drain. And I followed her stuff to a T. I launched, I did the webinar framework that she gave us. I literally kept doing it over and over again to the point of insanity. And then I was like, Rashida, some stuff you just gonna have to take a loss on. And that was a loss for me. After that, I'm like, okay, I just had the wrong teacher. The next year, I enroll into James Wedmore's BBD. I'm thinking, this guy seems like he has a little more hands on approach. One of my biggest complaints about being in Digital Course Academy is that they didn't have dedicated people to coach you and look at your assets and look at all the things that you were supposed to be rolling out to the market, and you just paid them $2,500. You know what I could have did with that $2,500? I could have put that in ads and got me some customers. She is an amazing marketer. That is what she does. But if I were asked, would I do it again? Absolutely not. No, I would not go spend $2,500 on a girl to give me some fluff and some hype and a bunch of strategies that are overwhelming and that I can't put into practice. And every time I try to implement something, I get stuck somewhere. And getting an answer from her team is like it's like pulling teeth. They did answer some of my questions, but a lot of times they would throw it back on me like it's your responsibility. Oh, well, I paid you $2,500. So, no, it's your job to deliver a result. And I still haven't gotten a result yet. And it's not just me that said that. Real talk. Our group was one of the biggest groups that she had ever had. It was like 6,000 people almost in our group. She launched again the next year, I think in 2024, and then 2025, this last year, as I went back and checked the course updates for things that she was doing that was no longer working and trying to get updates so I can update my stuff in my business, her enrollment shrunk to 1,500 people. Talk about like falling off the wagon. 2025 was just a hard year, period, in general, for any business, especially online digital businesses, right? So, yeah, that is my take. And they've tried to recruit me to be in the quote unquote the millionaire thingy that they have going on. And I'm like, girl, I am so over your tired approach to how you run this business. And I get it, it works because you're a marketer. But if I'm looking for real tangible results that I get from an investment that I've made into you as the creator, you as the entrepreneur, you as the leader who is supposed to lead me across the bridge, yeah, I'm going to keep my money and put that on somebody else. Because no, I will not be contributing to you and your new fancy farm that you're building in wherever part of Tennessee. No, ma'am. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm over the hype. Now, in regards to being organized and having so much content that you can't possibly say that you didn't get anything done, yeah, you have a ton of content that you can't really use. It was so many women that were in, I think it was about a group of 700 of us. We felt like the rug was pulled from under us after being in it for 8 weeks, and then they revoked access to our Facebook group. Well, one thing I noticed about the other cohort that I followed up in the next year is that they don't revoke access, that you have access to the cohort group 24/7. And so when new people come in the following year, you can either move into an advisory role, I'm assuming as a coach, and you get paid for it. But you still have that network of people. She makes you pay for a $99 membership after you've already paid $2,500 in order to have that connection. And I did that for 5 or 6 months and then I canceled. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. In retrospect, the moral of the story is I would have taken that 10K had I known that I needed to run ads in order to get my product into the market and get it in front of people. Instead of me buying all these fancy fake guru courses, I would have taken that money and put it into ads altogether. And I would have hired an expert who would have been able to set my ads up for me so that I would have had them working in unison and had it tuned by now. And what ended up happening was she didn't talk about the platform that I use the most, which is TikTok. My son got me on TikTok 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I think it's been 4 years actually. Oh my God, my TikTok anniversary is coming up in April, y'all. So my son got me on TikTok 4 years ago. First year and a half to 2 years, okay. Took me a while to figure out my groove. And then late 2023, going into 2024, stuff started to pick up. And then beginning of 2025, like when they were quote unquote removing access from TikTok and canceling it, after we got back onto that platform, y'all, figured out, I guess, a strategy that worked for my brand and my content. And I started focusing on that, and my content went through the roof. Till this day, up to, wait, let's see. So it started at the beginning of the year, kind of February, March, but it really popped off like around my son's birthday. I posted a video of my son celebrating his 17th birthday. I threw ads on it and it just went crazy. And then after that, like my videos just kept hitting, hit after hit after hit. And so I just kept producing content after content after content and connecting and getting people in my audience to participate. And the thing about me and my brand is manifesting millions. I live what I sell, right? So I sell real estate. Well, that's one of the jobs I do in the daytime. In addition to that, for the past 20 years, I've worked in corporate finance for top 5 banks. I have the finance background, I have the real estate background. And so I was like, we have to teach people how to logically implement actionable skills in regards to growing their money. Because I've been in finance for 20 years. It took me almost 10 years to figure out how to make it work for me. And this is with me dealing with billions of dollars every other day. You may know how to make money work for your organization because that is what you're trained to do. And I got really good at it, right? Perfect almost to a T. That's great, but what is that doing for me long term? Like I started asking that question probably late 2022. And that's how I ended up launching my business and things like that. But anyway, so let me bring it back home to I would have spent that money on ads and then invested in hiring some contractors because that's what I was doing anyway. But it's almost like the contractors had no definitive end as to what they were doing outside of the time frame that I needed them for. So I couldn't keep them on long term because at the time I wasn't really making the money that I should have been making, and they kept saying charge $29.97 for your product. $2,997. Okay, charge $19.97 for your product. So $1,997. And nobody was biting. And it's not that my audience doesn't make that kind of money. I beg to differ. Majority of my audience are corporate African American women. Whether they went to school or not, they got a bag, right? But what was missing was like the lead in for those offers. In Amy's framework, offer a freebie. Okay, but then what is my question to her? Because it's not just enough for me to give somebody a freebie. If you know anything about working with minority communities, especially being Black in America, come with a different set of circumstances. Number one, because we're Black or African American. We are people of color. There is a different background that comes with dealing with the people who buy brands like mine. Because I'm a Black woman in America. I'm a single mom, I'm a veteran, I'm educated. I fit into so many different categories. That being said, you can't just go throw a $3,000 product and expect them to go buy and then not do even one-on-one coaching, an hour one-on-one coaching session with them. Girl, really? Girl, what I do that at? Now, granted, it's probably some folks out here that have done that and gotten away with it. But my issue with it, if I'm putting myself in the mindset of the customer, the client, the buyer, who's going to eventually buy a house to make it a home, buy into investing products long term, eventually figure out how to invest in crypto, raise a family, go to work, possibly be a wife, possibly be a mother. Like, if I'm thinking about this long term, I'm thinking about my journey, about how I got to where I am. And it was a step by step process that didn't happen overnight. And I can't say that Rashida 36, when we got our first house in 2016, I can't say that Rashida 36 would have gone and thrown the Amex on the dash and been like, yeah, charge that 3K class to my card so I can invest in my future. I would not have. My son was 10 years old at the time in multiple activities. I was a single corporate mother working in a top 5 bank. Who got time to go do some stuff like that in their off hours? Child, you know what I'm doing on the weekends? And after school, I'm normally running around to get my son to his activities and trying to get to my son because this is Texas and this is one of the major metro areas in Texas. So it's 2-3 hour traffic daily. And then on the weekend, I am so dang I'm tired from my week that all I want to do is crash and sleep until Monday comes. So, me thinking about the mindset of where the women in my audience are, it's like I wouldn't spend the money on that. I ain't got time for that. I already ain't got time to think halfway and breathe. The last thing I'm thinking about is like spending 3 grand on a finance course. Girl, bye. No, ma'am. So, long story short, I had to run that back. Yes, I spent a lot of time creating the content, and the content is amazing. Do the people need the content? Absolutely. Will they buy it? That's a whole nother story. Where we are now is that I've launched my own platform. It is a functioning, fully going web app at the moment. My goal is to get it pushed to both Google and Apple, but that is a process. Just like getting my podcast approved with Apple, it took 3 months to get that approved with Apple. I submitted it in February, it didn't get approved till May. So it's going to be a process. And so as we are updating and transitioning over the next 2 to 3 months and welcoming people into our space for the AI Made Easy Bootcamp, because that seems to get the most interest. And I think it's 8 to 10 days, but you're going to get to spend time with me and I am going to coach you how to get a bag. Ain't gonna be no gatekeeping up in here because the part of my personality of that's just real and authentic and unique is just I want my people to pay for a product that adds value to their life. And so we're starting at $4.99. Will the price go up? Possibly. Yeah, it may. I'm a business. We got to stay running. We got to keep the lights on. But the goal right now is to get as many people as I can in at $4.99 and teach on a personal, unique level where I can connect and help them through their journey of getting to the next phase in life. How does that look on paper? Let's start here. In my mindset, if I've never saved $1,000 before, how can I use this boot camp to get me to $1,000? Okay, I got to $1,000. The next is 5K. The next is 10K. The next is 20K. The next is 30K. You see where I'm going? The goal is to ultimately get to the 6 figures, 100K. And let me tell you from personal experience, getting to the 6 figures, that first $100,000 is the hardest. But once you get there and you've made it and you've accomplished your goal and you're happy and you celebrate, it's not just about being there, it's then about how to manage it and make it grow to 7 figures. And that is a huge jump. And so you have to figure out the strategy of what works for you in order to get you to that 7 figure mark. And then, hey, if you're just gung ho and ambitious, hey, we got 6, 7 figures locked down. Actually, technically, we got 5, 6, and 7 figures locked down. How do we get to 8? Like, that is where I'm trying to take my people through the journey. And you can't do that in 2 weeks. You can't revoke access and not have people in community and collaboration and talking because you're selling a product and your only goal is to sell the bottom line and then brag about how much money you made on social media. Coming from someone who has touched billions of dollars on a daily basis for years, approving transactions, approving businesses, it is super tacky to talk about the fact that, oh, I just made $100 million over my career. I'm happy that you've done that, but do you really feel the need for you to continuously justify that fact and constantly promote it so that people can assume that you know what you're talking about? Just because you made $100 million doesn't make you special. It really doesn't. You may be a good marketer, but are you really providing value to the thousands of people that have come through your program and help make you make that $100 million? I mean, I may talk about how to make money. What you won't hear your girl doing in the Rich Auntie Life series is constantly talking about, well, I made $1 million last night. I made $2 million yesterday, and making you feel bad about the fact that I just made 6 figures or 7 figures and pretty much shining a light on that I am so much better than you because ultimately that's how it comes off. Do I want to run a 7 figure biz minimum? Absolutely. Am I going to get there? That is the goal. But am I going to flaunt it in all of my marketing and media every chance I get? Girl, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are asking for unwanted attention. It's a part of the package. But also being an entrepreneur, a business owner, and the brand, I guess, is that you have to be responsible with how you distribute information. And so let your life reflect how much money you make instead of you having to constantly speak to the fact that you make so much money. I'm just saying. But anyway, Rashida AI Wealth Coach is live. And let me grab the website real quick. It is. And yeah, we've been building this since October 31st of last year. We've had so many iterations, it's ridiculous. Here we go. Yeah, so the AI Made Easy Bootcamp is $3.99 and it's Rashida AI Coach.lovable.app. I have built myself into this system. I have Rashida AI, the coach that literally answers your questions. It's so cool. I'm tickled because it's like, I have been wanting this for the last 4 or 5 years and it's finally done. And then on another note, we are releasing Jupiter AI. Jupiter AI is a financial wealth astrology app that takes your birth information, compares that to fiat currency's birth date, 8/8/1971, and crypto's birth date, I think 2009, I'm not sure the exact date, and runs it against your birth chart and gives you all the updated key aspects of your life financially that you need to focus on in order for you to go get your bag. Say that again, y'all. In astrology, there are 12 houses in your birth chart. We focus on the money houses: the second house, the fourth house, the sixth house, the eighth house, the 10th house, and the 11th house. And it gives you a step by step play on how to take your cosmic astrology, blueprint that to your life in today's time, and implement daily actions on how to make more money. That is $99. I want to grab a round of applause, but this ain't TikTok live. Oh, it's basically your money astrology in an app for 99 bucks. And you can always rerun your report, but I feel like this could change the financial trajectory of astrology in this country. That's how excited I am about this app. That is the update for now. So if you are interested in joining Rashida AI, the AI Made Easy Bootcamp, currently is $4.99 on my new platform. Thank you all for joining. I will do some additional episodes because I know I've been gone for 30 days and I wasn't expecting, but so much has been going on. We just got back from spring break. If you remember previously, he got injured in the fall in a football game, in their homecoming football game, had to have surgery, had to have his knee repaired, and has recovered remarkably. And so he's physically walking again and back in physical school every day, and he graduates in May. Anyway, so what else did I feel like I missed something? I wrote an ebook. It's called Rich Auntie Life: How to Live a Life on Your Own Terms. 58 pages. It will be on sale for $9.99 in my Beacon store. It will be on sale in my Beacon store for $9.99, in addition to my AI Made Easy Bootcamp, which is $4.99. My Real Estate Riches is $199.99. And then Jupiter AI Wealth Coach is $99. This is where we're at. And so I am looking so forward to hosting my first cohort in the AI Made Easy Bootcamp. The goal is to have 50 to 100 people. We're going to get through it in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to have y'all go out and implement what y'all see me do every day on TikTok. TikTok is my main platform of choice. That's my update. I thank you all for listening. We're going to get back to covering tips and tricks for you buying houses, tips and tricks for you manifesting your millions, tips and tricks for you upgrading and upscaling your income in order for you to go get a bag, because that is what we about in this space, is going to build a bag so you can manifest your millions, period. Taking actionable steps to get you to your desired end goal. I'm going to say this again. I've said this previously before. Nobody's going to come and drop $7 million or $3 million or $1 million into your lap out of the sky. I know you hear a bunch of the fake gurus telling you it does work for them like that. Girl, boy, they lying to you. That is called expert marketing. Okay? It does not work like that. You have to do something in order to get a result. That's the life we live. Again, my page is beacons.ai, Rashida McFerren. All of our course offerings, with the exception of my book, they are listed on that page. And of course, you can always find me on TikTok. Until next time, I will see you in the next episode. Peace.